right, guys, I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this one pretty brief, but it has a lot of important things and details in it that I really do want you to know. I want all of you to know this stuff, okay? This is stuff I want you to hear, I want you to adhere to, and I want you to listen up. Number one, the Calvary isn't coming. You have to become your own Calvary. You got to become your own salvation. I know I say this all the time, but I want you to fully grasp a hold to this. No one helped my wife and I. It went like this. We started out in 1994. It wasn't until 2002. How many years is that? 1994 to 2002. It took us 8 whole years of working by ourselves, crying, figuring it out, going to different radio stations, doing all the different things we could. And we took some money and we spoke to a gentleman who actually owned a radio station down in Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 8 years into it. Now, how old is Diamond VIP? We're 3.5 years old. So we're already on a pace that is unbelievable. It's a supernatural pace, just so you know. Okay. And I don't care what faith you are, what you believe. This is supernatural. You don't believe in God, then prove it to me. Show me how this happened. Okay. Because I started with zero, guys. Okay, let me take that back. I started with I had a Nissan Maxima. I think they gave me like $7,500 for the car. And I started what you know now to be Diamond VIP. Now, when we started that, I used that money as fallback money because all I was going to do for the first year was give away money. And I did. I did it to the tune of $45,000. The giveaway period of Diamond VIP is now over. It's no more giveaway because that was the first 8 months of me creating this process. But in that 8 months, God created many, many, many miracles. And it went a lot like this. First off, I hear the Lord say, stop attending to Pharaoh's business. Get up and build for your people. Now, what did he mean by Pharaoh's business? It's what everyone does. You go to work, you go through the motions, you go to the basketball game, you do all the things you want to do. You make it, you got to have some fun, right? Because you're working all these hours on your job and you go through your day to day. You don't think about what it is you're doing. You really don't. Okay. And you go through years where you don't think until you end up with a health crisis or you go through something very serious. And then that makes you think, or someone passes away. And then all of a sudden the world becomes reality to you. And you wake up and you realize all the things that you did not accomplish, the things that you did not do, and your hopes and your dreams and all those things are being dashed. That's the normal pace of a normal human being. But when COVID-19 happened, I was just talking to my niece this morning about this. When COVID-19 happened, what it did for all of us is it gave us time to sit at home and think about what we just did. Remember when your parents used to say to you, I'm going to give you this whipping, but I need you to think about what you just did, right? So we all had a chance to sit and think about what it was we just did. And as for me, my thought process was I thought I had built a beautiful life. I thought I had done everything I was supposed to do. So please don't come miss me with the whole idea that you've already arrived, because there's no such thing as arrival. Your arrival is your destination into heaven. That's your arrival, right? That's how I believe. Now, you may believe some other kind of way and you got some other kind of dogma, but baby, if it ain't working for you, you might need to trample your dogma, right? You might need to put your dogma in the trash can and go on about your life. I'm serious about that, right? So that might be something you want to do, okay? But I don't believe in the definition of insanity. If I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again and I keep getting the same result, then it's time for me to try something new. Even if we were doing a science experiment, I got to put some new data in order to get a new result. That's just common sense, right? Goes with it. So that's my feeling on that. You can fight that, resist that, do whatever you want. But to me, when you do that, you're nothing more than the children of Israel. You know, the ones that went around in circles and could never find their way into the Canaan, the promised land, which was literally right there, right? I love that story because that's us. That's every human being breathing. When God wants us to do something new, what's the first thing we want to do to God? Well, this is how we always did it, God. This is no, we don't do it like that. Oh no, our tradition said. Let me tell you something about tradition. It is being thrown in the trash. I spoke to my brother-in-law. He used to work for Naval Intelligence. We spoke this morning. And the first thing he's writing, he's got 4 doctorate degrees. Hear me, 4 doctorate degrees. And he's writing his dissertation on AI and how it's going to replace high-level positions. Uh-oh, Relroy. High-level positions. And we saw it happen. I told him, because my brother-in-law used to work with Stefan Brown. Ta-da, same brother-in-law. Ta-da, right? And Stefan told you that. But it's replacing high-level positions. Now, what did he do before? He worked in naval intelligence. How did he get in naval intelligence? He was in the Navy and he cracked into their computer. He was War Games. He was a smart dude. And they said, you got a choice. We can either send you to our prison or we can train you to work for us. But you got to keep your mouth quiet. And so he did that until retirement. And that's the same brother-in-law that we worried about during September 11th, because he was working at the Pentagon when the plane went through the building. That was 2001. I've told you this story. I've told you parts of this story, but I'm giving you all the story. So we were actively involved in what happened September 11th, trying to reach our brother-in-law all day long, but the phone systems were down. So that's when chaos and crisis hits your real life. And you say to yourself, man, we better do something. So I looked at my wife, Erica, and I said, if it's going to be, it has to be us. No one else seems to understand, so it has to be us. It has to be us to make sure that my in-laws are taken care of. And I need you to understand this. I don't just drive around in a nice Porsche and all that kind of stuff. No, we have the weight of the world on our shoulders before I met you. Before I met you. Because my in-laws, they didn't have enough. Nobody does, guys. Wake up. You know, whether you work at GE, Ford, whoever it is, you do not have enough. I've already seen it. We're already helping people. We know you don't have enough. We knew before we got started. 2001, remember, guys, I hadn't even gone homeless yet. So in the midst of us trying to make sure we're taking care of everyone else, we go homeless. And you know what happened to me mentally? It messed with my head. Because I looked up to heaven and I said, come on, God. All I care about is taking care of others. How in the world am I the one who's going through all this turmoil? And the Lord spoke something back to me that'll save you the trouble. He said, it ain't you. You just ain't got your butt off the front line yet. You're still working on the front line. You're still thinking like an employee. So what, you get promoted on your job? You're still an employee. And if that job goes away, you ain't never thought like the owner. And that's the reason why you feel so chaotic when that job goes away. It's time. I don't care if you're the janitor. I don't care if you're not even employed. It's time to observe the owners of businesses and learn how to become one. Observe. And I'm not talking about money. You better get money out of your head. First off, you got to get your head right. Get your head right before you get money, because if you get money before you get your head right, then all that money is going to roll through your fingers, because you think the problem is money. But the real truth is, the reason you want the money is so you can go buy the nice car, and so you can go get the nice house. Yes, I have the nice car, but I didn't do that till 2010. Think about that. We started in 1994. That's 16 years later. And you might have heard me say it's taken 17 years for us to become an overnight success. And I'm talking about 2011. And yet you let it pass over your head and just go. I don't hear you, Brian. What are you talking about? I'm giving you wisdom.